The title of your book is The Emotionally Healthy Child, and I'm curious how you would define emotional health as it relates to children.
That's such a great question. When I think of children and emotional health, it begins with helping them identify emotions, helping them learn how to pause and then constructively express them. So children are in the process of gaining the skills and awareness of what they feel in their bodies, what emotions are, how do I stop, how do I calm and center, and how do I let it out constructively. Typically, most children start more emotionally reactive, which would be, I feel angry, I'm going to scream. Like there's no sort of thinking process. So it's helping kids bring their logical mind online earlier so that they can be thinking and feeling and learning what emotions are, sort of calm quicker, even if it's, it starts with a few seconds, but eventually, they can really take a pause and then they can make a better decision on what to do with that emotion opposed to just screaming or slamming doors or, saying words to you that they can't put back,
Yeah. And you say that 3 simple steps have the power to change everything when it comes to emotional health.
Yes.
What are they and why are they important?
One theme throughout my book is to use the concept that if we can stop or catch ourselves, the skill of awareness, and this is for children, if they can stop and catch themselves, and then they can 2, calm, then they 3 can make a smart choice. And a smart choice I define as a choice that's good for you and good for others. So good, say a child was angry. Good for them would be to scream because it gives them some anger relief, but it's not necessarily good for everyone in the house. So it's helping them learn how to make a smarter choice with that feeling. No emotions are bad or good, they just are, and it's how do I catch myself before I go down a direction that's not so smart? How do I just stop, even if it's learning how to take just a beat, a few seconds, and then make a better decision. So it's really those, what I call 3 steps to success.
And it really sounds to me like these are skills that we as adults largely need to develop still too.
Oh, emotional health is not like, I gotta check the box. It's throughout our lives.
Yeah.
That's why it is the skill of balance. Because life is always throwing us off balance, whether it's we lose a pet and they pass away, whether it's an unexpected natural disaster, whether it's an event at a school that we're, can't believe. Life is always throwing us as adults and also as children off balance. So having those tools in your emotional toolbox of how do you go back to center, how do you calm and make smarter choices with knowing that things are always throwing yourself off balance, and finding that balance and regaining that balance is a process. It's a practice. And children who learn it earlier on, just, their trajectory can be so much easier, better, healthier, happier, and they can be more whole versus, a lot of us adults have had this bumpy path to power. We've like, we made that mistake, but now we know so much, it's sort of time to share that awareness and skill set with our children so they from the get-go can feel emotionally healthier and happier.
And it seems like by modeling equanimity ourselves is probably one of the most valuable ways to teach our children.
Well, yeah, I think modeling emotional health and being honest and authentic with your children. Like if you're having a bad day, it doesn't help them to put on a happy face. It's better for you to say, today wasn't great. I'm going to take a few deep breaths. I'm going to go do something constructive, or I need 5 minutes alone, or whatever it is. But showing them that, something in the outside world, you don't have to be devastated by it. We can learn how to cope with it. We'll cope with it together as a family, and, we'll get through things. Yeah. So I think that that's really valuable. And the idea scientifically of mirror neurons, that when you're in the presence of someone else who's learned how to calm or learned how to pause or learned how to make smarter choices, it's easier for you to pick that up.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons I went to study with the Dalai Lama, is because in his presence you become better. Not only what he says in teaching, but in his presence. So when you become a parent, a teacher, a professional, that in your presence you learn how to become emotionally healthier. Just being around you helps as well as what you teach.
Yeah. The Emotionally Healthy Child is full of practical tools for parents, teachers, and professionals to teach children about how to healthfully express their emotions. Can you give us an example of one?
Sure. The one that I'm thinking of is something I recently spoke to one of my clients about, which is the Smart Choices checklist. Because as we talked about, one of the themes is how do you catch yourself, stop, calm and make a smart choice even when you're emotionally challenged and charged. So oftentimes children are making not so smart choices because they don't recognize they have a choice in that moment. So they're angry, they push the kid on the playground. They're mad, they throw the pencil across the classroom. They're not taking a beat and realizing, oh, what are the options I can do? So a smart choices checklist is working with them to identify smart choices, good for you and good for others. What are the smart choices at home? Let's not kick the dog. You can go when you're angry, throw hoops, basketball in the hoops, jump on the trampoline, read your favorite book, Mr. Underpants, take a bath. We just make a list of smart choices, and you can do it for the classroom as well. When you're frustrated, can you take deep breaths? Can you take a nature break and go to the bathroom and throw water on your face? What can you do to kind of regain your balance and find your center again so that you don't do something that that doesn't feel good for you and others. So I like the smart choices checklist because it's sort of preparing them. It's like pre-paving the path when you get frustrated or sad or angry. There's nothing wrong with that. It's what you do with that emotion and what are your options in the classroom. Oftentimes I talk to children and they're like, I don't know. So then we identify them and they're like, oh, I guess I could do that.
Yeah.
And then at home, they're like, oh, I guess, yeah, no, I could try that. So helping them realize that they actually have the power to make better decisions can go really far. And, when you start to believe in them, they start to believe in themselves, and it moves them in a positive direction.
Yeah. And what do you most hope readers will take away from your book, The Emotionally Healthy Child?
My hope is that it gives more people the ideas and the tools to not only raise emotionally healthy children, but so that they keep themselves in check also, because it's that role modeling that's so valuable and important. So oftentimes we just know things because we know them, we've learned them. But when you see something written in sort of a logical way, I was like, oh yeah, this. Oh, and that's why mindfulness is so valuable. Oh yeah, let me add one thing into my daily life to help me center and stay present and positive. And it's I really think that a lot of things are low-hanging fruit if we have like a tool that we can use on a consistent basis that helps us and helps our children, moves us in the right direction, and also that we have everything within us that we need to live healthier, happier, whole lives. But it's a matter of sometimes we get reminders, whether it's a book, whether it's a video, whether it's a friend saying, hey, I read this article, I read this tool, try this tool, this helped us at our house. So I think it's really the ideas and the tools that they can use. For me, I'm a very practical person. I love philosophy and wonderful ideas, but if you can't put it into practice, what's the point? So for me, I really hope that this book becomes something that people really flip through and say, okay, we're going to do this right now. All right, everyone? Because that is valuable. That is helpful.
Yeah. It's like a one big smart choice checklist.
Right. That's right. That's right. Yeah, no, because every smart choice leads to the next smart choice.
Yeah.
And I think that often in life, if we just get some simple reminders and ideas and tools and then we use them, it's almost like meditation or mindfulness or yoga. Whatever is healthy for you in your lifestyle, in your culture, in your world, I think it's just that consistent practice that really helps.